Alright, we're on a 2011 Toyota Tacoma, and we're going to be putting in a dash cam. It's going to be this little unit right here. Relatively cheap dash cam, but they've proven to be very reliable. I've got these in every single vehicle I own. I own 5 vehicles, and I've got these, the same one in all 5. And the reason I've got a dash cam in my vehicles is because it seems like more times than not, if you're in a car accident, even if you are 100% innocent and the other party is 100% guilty in causing the accident, they always try to claim to their insurance company that it wasn't their fault. So I thought, okay, you know what? A cheap $30 dash cam, as long as it's reliable and works, is some cheap insurance that might help in an instance like that, where someone's claiming that you're at fault, and come to find out, you show them the dash cam footage, and you wasn't the one at fault. Anyway, on with the show. So this is what my plan is. First of all, I'm going to show you how to I'm not going to so the way this comes is where you just plug it into a cigarette lighter, or a 12 volt power source. But then you got to run the wire all the way up to where the dash cam is. Well, I don't like that. I've got all these hardwired into the car so that the wires are hidden, and it's all seamless. It's a neat installation. It's not going to come unplugged. And I'm going to show you how to do that. And I'm going to show you an option that you can do to where you don't have to buy a converter. Because this right here, this is what you need to know about this camera. These cameras work off of 5 to 6 volts, I believe. This right here's got circuitry in it that when you plug it in, of course this is picking up the 12 volts, or battery voltage from the car, and then it converts it down to the 5 or 6 volts that the camera needs. So you can't simply cut this off, take the 2 wires out of it, and wire it to your 12 volt system. The camera won't work. So if you take this apart, all you got to do, take this apart, this cap here unscrews. Well, didn't mean to do that, but that right there unscrews, and then it just snaps apart. Just pry it apart with a screwdriver. It'll snap apart, and what you're going to have is that right there. It's a very simple step-down circuit. Just steps the voltage down. Got a couple capacitors for noise. LED to let you know you're plugged in. So the only thing you've got to do is where the this side electrode is. That's your ground. This one's your positive. So when you take that apart, you're not going to have wires coming off of it. All you got to do is, when you take it apart, is solder some wire onto the positive and the negative points where those electrodes are. It's a simple process. That way you've got you got wires to hook into your 12 volt system. So now this is cut. This was in another vehicle. Is why this is already all set up. Oh, and this is a piece of heat shrink that I just shrunk down over it. That way it keeps it insulated from touching anything. So this came out of another car that I had. I've pulled it out because we're selling that other car. Now this, on the other car, I had this part down in the kick panel, is where I picked up my power and my ground. And then I had the wires running up the trim right here, and then over to the camera. This car, what I'm hoping to be able to do is drop this console down, and this has got a, where's my key at? This has got a clock, not a clock, a temperature and compass readout right here that comes on with the key. So I've already got the diagram that I left over there. Hold on a second. So if you look right there, you'll see a white and black, goes straight to ground, and a light green goes up to power when the key is either on or starting, which is what you want, or at least when the key is on. You don't have to have it when it's starting. Not all power sources on a car are hot in the start position, but in this particular case, this is fine. It'll be fine if it's starting and it's hot. That's fine. So we're going to look for a connector with, looks like about 5 wires in it. We're going to be looking for a light green and a white and black, and that's all we're going to need to be able to get power to this, and so it'll work for us. And I'm hoping to be able to have everything, you know, the camera's going to be mounted right here, and I've already got this mounted. Now this comes with double-sided tape. I have found here in Texas, it doesn't hold up. It gets so dang hot down here that if the car's sitting out in the heat, you'll come out and you'll see that your camera's hanging by the wires because the heat just softened up that double-sided tape. So you can either try peeling all that off and getting some good quality. I know 3M makes some good quality tape. I haven't tried it. What I do is I've got some kind of temporary epoxy that I use, and that seems to work really good. So I've already got the mount. The camera just slides on that and it just holds it. And then the wires should be able to pull down the headliner just enough to get the wires in there once we get this dropped down. So I'm about to drop this down. I believe there's only one screw, and then this thing will pop down. And then we'll disconnect the connectors, and then we'll go from there. I'll get the camera set up, hopefully, so that you can pretty much see everything that's going on. And we'll go from there. So let me get set up and I'll be back. Alright, hopefully you can see all that. So we're going to take this screw out. Perfect. Okay. And I'm hoping, yeah, looks like there's going to be plenty of room. Okay, so there's a couple connectors. I don't know if that's coming through, but you'll see the little tabs that you got to push down to unplug them. There's that one. There's that one. Okay, all consoles out. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and just clip the camera on the mount. Okay. Now, so what my plan is, for this to just set up here like this. Plenty of room, it looks like. Now I could cut these wires off. I mean, I don't need much, but I may be taking this out at some point and putting it in something else. So I'm just going to kind of grab some zip ties. Alright, so now we just got to find the wires. Okay, so the small one is for the dome light. So this is the one we're going to go after. What color? A white and black. Which I don't see. And a light green. I see a light green. Oh, there's a white with black. Okay, now to verify that, I'm going to get my test light. So if the white and black should be ground, I'm just going to stick a T-pin right in the back of it. We'll have to have the key on. And what was it, light green? Key off, no power. Key on, power. Not sure if you can see that or not, but does look to be what we need. So we're going to need that one and that one. Where's my... Okay. Okay. So these are the two incoming power. Black and white. I'll go ahead and strip these here too. Now these two are cut because I just cut them because it made it easier for me to remove the wiring from the other vehicle. And while I'm here, and we're just going to splice these. Now, the splices I'm using are what they call, let me get a razor blade.
out. I looked at all the options, and the thing you want is zero energy.
Zero energy?
Yeah, take a look at their website.
Oh, sorry, Josh, I can't really see. The sweat is starting to run into my eyes.
Well, what it says and
I'm just trying to slice this sheath so I can get more
means that your bill stays the same.
wire pulled out.
So you don't have to be afraid to run the AC when you need to. It's not that hot.
Yes, but did you hear him?
No, I can't focus. It's too hot.
Josh said our electricity bill is the same
Okay.
even if we use the AC.
So, yeah, like I was saying, the splices I'm using
Thank goodness we can finally get
are,
off this porch.
they're called environmentals. They are a,
Call 1-800-MY-ZERO or visit zeroenergy.com today. PUCT number 10177. These days, it's
an aviation
something halfway.
splice.
CBS is a proprietary search tool to find ways that make up worry or shipping costs, and will deliver them to you. No wonder CBS customers are better than most at staying on prescriptions, which tends to make you healthier.
And I'm just going to use heat shrink. I'm not going to use the actual environmental sleeve because this obviously is not in the environment.
Ask pharmacists for details.
The 2020 election is being called our most important in years. It will impact a generation. We all have our opinions on what we care about most. And at iHeartRadio, we're giving you a way to express yours. Everyone. From now till Election Day on November 3rd, iHeartRadio is turning over the airwaves on our radio stations, our podcasts, and even the iHeartRadio app to give you the opportunity to answer one simple question. Why I'm voting.
This is Dan Shea. As citizens, it's our responsibility to actively exercise our right to vote.
Every day, you'll hear
And I guess I ought to show you guys how these splices and crimpers work.
regular people like us share what matters
So,
most to us.
hold on a second. Let me.
To share why you're voting this November, go to iHeartRadio.com/vote. Listen every day. You might even hear your story. Then check out the latest episode of the new iHeartRadio podcast, Why I'm Voting, on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you listen to podcasts. iHeartRadio's Why I'm Voting. The countdown to Election Day. Your vote is your voice.
It is going to be a warm day today. A lot of sunshine. High around 94. Right now it is 78, and that's your look at Lone Star Weather.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's. The Lowe's for Pros loyalty program gives pros
So the way these crimpers
purchase tracking
look, hopefully that's coming through.
tools. Sign up to
There's 3 different sizes. This is the splice.
one more reason why Lowe's is the new home for pros. Terms and conditions apply.
Make sure that I'm
presents a special episode of Stuff You Missed in History Class. Isabella, who's
trying to do this at an odd angle.
her books about her journeys
Okay, so the splice is installed in the crimper.
popular, there are still some pretty big questions about the percentage.
Stick it right over the wire.
Listen to Stuff You Missed in History Class on the iHeartRadio.
And the way these are made is you put a sleeve. This sleeve has got paraffin, I think it's paraffin wax, but it might be something else that when it's melted down, it shrinks over it. This wax seals both ends. It actually gets smaller and seals, it's just a little bit bigger than the wire itself, and it's environmentally sealed. Water and liquids won't be able to infiltrate it and corrode it. Since we're up here, aviation wiring is a lot stronger than automotive wiring, and at the temperature that these melt at and shrink down, a lot of times it'll start to blacken and melt the insulation of automotive wiring. So I want to use those if I absolutely have to. If it's out under the hood, I'll do it. And you got to be very careful that you don't melt the wiring. So as long as it's inside the vehicle, like this is, heat shrink's fine. And so what I'll do is I got the heat shrink on it, and we're just going to do it like that. You can't forget to put the shrink on it though. So I've got the shrink on these, but I'm going to go ahead and crimp it onto this other end here. Get this part done. Okay, so this is the ground. Give it a little twist so it's not fraying out on me. Hopefully that's coming through. I can't see the viewfinder of the camera, so I've just got to kind of point it up here, and hopefully you can see what's going on. And I'm going to go ahead and shrink these down just to show you how that's done. So I know you know how to do it, but the one thing I see a lot of people do is they'll use a lighter or something. I use an actual heat gun. Set it the right temperature, so you're only shrinking down the shrink and not not melting the wiring. And I probably could have used a little bit smaller shrink. Okay, so now what we're going to do, I'm going to cut both these, and I guess I can go ahead and turn the car off. Don't need that on. Oh. Well, you know what? I should not have crimped these on here yet. I don't want to do it like that. So I'm going to take these off, and I'll show you why. Okay, the ground was, which one was the white and black? If I remember. There's different sizes of these splices. So we're going to put black to the white and black. And I don't know if you can hear that ratcheting, but that ratcheting guarantees that you end up having to go all the way through. If you don't go all the way through, they won't open back up. You have to go far enough to where it opens. Okay. All right, so if everything worked out, then whenever we turn the key on, we should get we got our red light here, and there's our camera. Looks like it's working. Now I just need to make sure it's aimed properly. I'm gonna go close the hood. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Make sure there's no fingerprints on the lens. And now, I think that will... Okay, that should tuck right up in there nice. Looks like. Okay, this goes like this. We're going to plug the big one in first. Plug that one in. Just get a bird's eye view. Perfect. Put the one screw in. So we've got our compass and our temperature. That works just fine, and we have our camera. And then we turn the key off. Takes like 30 seconds, I think, 15 or 30 seconds or so for the camera to shut off. And there's that. And that just gives me a little piece of security that in case something happens, it's not my fault, or at least not totally my fault. There's something that might be able to help back up my my version of what happened. And it's not just for car accidents. You know, I mean, just anything that happens, you just never know. Anyway, I hope all that came through for you. Pretty easy. Now you can do that same thing, and you can just run the wire along your, you know, your trim, your headliner, and then down your B-pillar, down to your fuse box, or down into the kick panel. A lot of times there's a plug down in the kick panel. It's always a good idea to know if you're picking up a power wire from a connector, and you verified with a test light or a multimeter that it's the, you know, it's 12 volts and it's on and off with the key or whatever you're wanting, it is a good idea to know where that power is coming from. You know, you don't want it coming directly out of the computer or a module. You want it to be fused. You want it to be coming from a, you know, a fused circuit somewhere. So, you know, I looked at the diagram to verify that this particular wire went directly to a 10 amp fused, you know, circuit. Anyway, that's about all I wanted to show you. How easy it is to install a dash cam and actually hardwire it in. You know, all the wires are out of the way, and it's a neat installation. Once I put the mirror back, then the camera's kind of, you know, tucked up out of the way where you don't really notice it a whole lot. And the way I like to put these cameras is, you know, that shaded area of what a lot of windshields have. I like to put them, you know, as much of the camera up away or up behind that as possible, and have just the camera lens pointing out the clear part of the window. That way from the outside, it's even less noticeable. You know, so, you know, that's something else to keep in mind. But anyway, that's about all I got. You guys take care, man.